Do you want to work and travel in America but hesitant to move because of the cost of living? Living in the United States can be challenging and sometimes confusing, especially if you've never been there before. Each states have different rules and regulation. It depends what city you are in and the taxes that you have to pay. So if you want to know more information about the cost of living in the United States by states and each cities, then just keep on watching. Hola amigas, welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for J1 visa and American culture. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you'll always be notified whenever we upload new jam-packed videos. And speaking of jam-packed videos, in today's video you are in the treat because I'm going to show you exactly the monthly expenses of a J1 intern. But before we dive into the video, we have an important shout out to do. Now, if you're wondering how you can be featured in the next video, all you have to do is like this video and leave a comment down below, or take a screenshot of this video and post it in your Instagram story. But don't forget to tag me at rioworldwide.co so I can see your post. Now let's proceed to the video. So now let me take you in the word. So I wrote here all the basic J1 monthly expenses, and this is the exact amount of how much they spent for each factors, like for food, transportation, housing, and phone bill. So as you can see here that I've gathered information from different J1 interns from different states to give you the real, exact, expenses, or to give you an exact idea of how much to live in certain states. So here's the basic J1 monthly expenses. So let's start with Hamar. He lives in Durham, North Carolina. So for his food, he spent only $50. Guys, this is not normal. But why is he only spending $50? It is because he is sharing their monthly groceries with his friends. They are a group of 8 people that are sharing $50 for their essential foods every month. Now, why do I put plus plus? It's because he still spend more money for his food, but those are like, desserts and food that are not essential. That's why I put plus plus. So you can expect always more on this. So for transportation, he only spent $30. Why? Because he lives right next to their hotel, which doesn't cost him anything, but he still spent $30 monthly for transportation, because every time they will go from their housing to the groceries, that's the time that they pay money for transportation. Sometimes their Ubers, he said that it cost him $10 and below. And again, guys, if there's a lot of you will be sharing those transportation, of course it will be a lot cheaper. Next is his housing. He only pays $400 every month. Now, if your housing is provided by your hotel company, but you are renting with them, they usually do is that take $200 out of your paycheck every 2 weeks, and then it will be total of $400. For his case, all the utilities are included. Their housing has their Wi-Fi, electricity, water, and heater. And something that you guys need to consider is that if you live in states that has snow, or maybe it's very cold that you guys need a heater, then of course your electricity might be higher. So it is good, or it is better if the housing that you will rent will be like all the utilities are included. So you don't have to worry about like, oh my god, my electricity will be so high like this month. Maybe you will get worried also, okay, I paid my housing, but did I pay my electricity? Did I pay my water bill? Did I pay my Wi-Fi? So those are the things that you still need to think about of if the utilities is not included in the housing rent. So just a little tip, guys, before we dive in really into all the tips, is that choose a housing that as much as possible all the utilities are included in your bill. And then next is his phone bill, which he only spent $15. Now, when I was gathering all of this information, I was shocked when he told me that he only pays $15. And I'm like, wait, what network were you using? Because I paid like twice or sometimes 3 times of the amount of what he is currently paying. And then he introduced me to the Mint Mobile, which I showed you guys from the last video. If you've watched it, I will link it here. And his total expenses is $495. Now let's move on with April expenses. So for her food, she spent $150. Now, if you guys are wondering, okay, why does she spend more? Because she lives alone. She spent $150 for herself for food. And then for transportation, she spent $100 monthly. Why? Because she takes metro every day, and usually she pay $6 every day, according to her. And for her housing, it's $600, and also all the utilities are included. And for her phone bill, she spent $45. See guys, it's like the 3 times the amount of Hamar bill for phone bill. Now why other people are still paying more? It's just really based on your preference, because there's a lot of networks that are available here in America. And if you guys want to know more about that, I made a video about it. I will link it in the card and also in the description box below. And then next, let's move on to Christine expenses, which she lives in Naples, Florida. So here's the thing guys, that even though you guys live in the same state, it's not necessary, or it will not always be the same cost. Why? Because it still depends on which city you are living in. For example, you live in a city where it's like a tourist attraction. Of course, the housing there or the cost of living there will be a lot higher. But if you live in certain cities that are not very touristy and mostly like like into the woods or like out of the city, of course it will be a lot cheaper. So for Christine, she lives in Naples, Florida. Her food, she spent $200. For her transportation, she spent $50. Again, she lives right next to their hotel, so she doesn't spend anything for transportation except when she's going from their housing to the grocery stores, or if she's going to the mall. And then next is for her housing. She spent $600 every month. Why? Because they said that there's only 2 people that are sharing the housing, so the house will cost $1,200 and all the utilities are included. But because there's only 2 of them who's sharing the housing, so they need to split it in the middle, so she pays $600 monthly. And for her phone bill, she only pays $30 every month, total of $880. So now let's move on to Majid expenses, which he lives in Park City, Utah. Again, this city is very touristy. Based from what he said, it's the cost of living here is a little bit more expensive to compare to other different cities. That's why for his food, he pays $200 monthly. So you might be wondering, for transportation, Majid pays $400. So why does it paying times 4 than the usual J1 intern for transportation? It is because he has car payments every month, and like what I've said from my last video, you can rent or you can buy a car here and you can just sell it after your J1 intern, because some cities public transportation is not that good. That's why they will save more if they have their own car and using their own transportation. So for his case, he got his own car, so he pays $300 monthly for that. The other $100 is for his gas and also for the insurance of the car. The next is housing, $500 every month. And then for his phone bill, he pays $45. That's why every month his monthly expenses is $1,145. Now let's move on to Ace expenses. He lives in Southern California. Now, in California, it might really be tricky because there's a lot of cities there that have different cost of living. So you really need to search what city exactly you are in, so you know how much or what are the you can expect to pay for housing and that. So for food, he pays $200. For transportation, he pays $100. He said that he only pays $100 really for transportation. It's because they only take bus during the mornings when they are going to work every day, but then when they are going home, they have someone who has a car and they just take rides with them. So in that case, they don't need to pay extra transportation for their what do you call it, like when they're going home and stuff like that. If you guys have friends that have car and going on the same direction, then maybe you can ask them if you can ride with them or split the expenses for gas, so at the same time you're also helping your friend. Next is housing. Ace spent $400 monthly for his housing, and all the utilities are also included in here. And the next for his phone bill is $40, which he spent $740 monthly for their monthly expenses in Southern California. Next, let's talk about my expenses in Key Largo, Florida. So for food, I usually spend $200 monthly, and then for my transportation, since I live right next to the hotel, I don't have to pay for it. But again, every time we go to the church or we go to the grocery stores, that's when I pay the transportation. So for my monthly transportation, I usually spend $50. And then for my housing, I pay $400, so it's $200 every 2 weeks. It will be, taken out from our paycheck. And then for my phone bill, before I spent $45 monthly, but again, since I discovered Mint Mobile, it's gonna be $15. So for my total monthly expenses is $695. So in today's video, we've learned the exact amount of basic monthly expenses of each J1 interns from different states and cities. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you'll be the first person to be notified whenever we upload new jam-packed videos. And speaking of jam-packed videos, for our next video, we will give you 10 tips on how you can save more money, on how you can lessen all of these monthly expenses that we've discussed today. So if you're interested, make sure to click the notification bell and click all notifications so you'll be the first person to be notified whenever we upload new jam-packed videos. And while waiting for that video, make sure to click these two videos right here. I make a lot of J1 videos. It for sure will help you in your J1 program. Again, please make sure to click these two videos right here. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you have any more questions. I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.